Hello Capricorns, and welcome to your August 2021 mid-month reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded, generalized perspective. And if you're interested in something that's a bit more personalized to you and your situation, check out the description box below for links to my website and Etsy shop. All right, let's go ahead and begin. The first card we have is Come to Life. And I feel like there has been a lack of vibrancy. It's what I'm getting. Like, the biggest information that I'm getting downloaded with this particular card is lack of vibrancy. And I feel like there's different ways that this has come to pass, come into fruition for those of you who are watching this video, but it's varied depending on each person's individual journey. So it doesn't matter how you came to this, but there's definitely an overall sense of lack of vibrancy. And I feel fairly heavily or fairly much that those of you who are watching this, that there's been an awareness of it, a recent sort of awakening or awareness of this sort of lack and a desire to change that. But along with that, I feel like there's a strong sense of uncertainty on how to make it happen. And overall, I feel like the biggest thing that I can give you with this particular message is that your awareness is the first step. Your awareness of this lack that you have is the first step in looking at the situation and figuring out what you need to do with it. And it's okay if you don't have answers right away, as long as you don't just give up, dismiss, or walk away. That's the biggest thing. So when you recognize this about yourself, just start with the little things. Start creating space through little acts for yourself. In terms of self-love, self-acceptance is coming through. I feel like there's a bit of a broader perspective with this. So it's you on a personal level, but you on a personal level in your connection to the world on a bigger scale. So your perception of the world at large seems to be coming, it feels like it's coming through. So the bigger details of the broader picture seems to be sort of overshadowing the personal individual aspect. And so you're trying to figure out how you can create vibrancy despite this larger shadow that you don't have as much control over as much as you do on your smaller scale in your personal life. And so this is a bit of a validation that yes, it's the little things, and it's the little things in your personal life that sort of creates a pushback. If nothing else, it creates a bit of a bubble or safe haven for you to be able to nurture yourself in. So however that resonates with you, take that, and however it doesn't, go ahead and leave it. We are following this with the Queen of Swords, and I feel like this is a bit of a message regarding one of the ways that you can change. So the Queen of Swords is coming through in a bit of a too much in your own head kind of energy, a little bit of thinking too much and allowing the line of thought to sort of direct the emotion a little bit too much. And the more that it directs the emotions are sort of feeding the line of thought, and it's kind of creating this a weird whirlpool of energy regarding what's going on, how you feel about what's going on in your life, to the point of almost dragging you down like a whirlpool would in a pool of water. So this is a kind of a next step of awareness. Like, be aware of your thoughts. Make sure that they are thoughts that promote healthy emotions, and be aware when your thoughts are not promoting healthy personal emotions. And again, it feels there's a huge tie in as far as personal perspective and the weight of it, or how it's being weighed down as a result of the broader picture. From a world perspective, or how a broader picture may apply to you. But you're tethering them too tightly to the point of almost stifling vibrancy in your life, and you need to figure out how to kind of cut that tether so that it's not as intricately connected or as deeply connected as it is right now, because of how it is creating a pull on you and weighing you down. Knight of Swords, we're really tapping into that control of your thoughts, kind of continuing with that concept of thoughts. And I just, again, this is really feeling that it's just the relationship that you're having in your thought process, the relationship between personal life versus the bigger picture is what's coming through as the struggle and the impact that it's having on your emotion. And the Knight of Swords is just kind of coming through as a message and really trying to be a bit more, I hate to say it, but logical or rational. And I think one of the reasons why I'm coming up with the words of being logical or rational is because I'm kind of trying to cut a little more of the emotion out of it. There's nothing wrong with being guided by our emotions and being guided by our heart center when we are making choices or when we are viewing things. But sometimes when there is a clash, and I'm going back to that scenario about the whirlpool of the thoughts and the mixing with the emotions or the water, and then that's affecting the thoughts that I was making when I talked about the Queen of Swords. I'm also thinking of that whole, how for whatever reason this comes into play when you think of how a tornado kind of clashes, or a whirlpool too. It's that clash of two different sides of things. So as far as a tornado is concerned, one of the ways that a tornado is formed is from when you have a clash of cold air and warm air, and the difference between the two is drastic enough. There's a reaction as a result of it, and if it's prolonged, if there's enough of the two, and the inner reaction or the clash of it is prolonged long enough, then you can get what eventually builds into funnels, and that is how you have tornadoes. And so that emotion and thought process clash is creating disastrous effects. And so you need to be able to kind of sever the two, manage to break up the two in some way, come between the two of them in some way. And I think that's where that logical, rational aspect comes in. The emotion is too much of a clash with the more just the cold side of it as far as thinking is concerned. And so there's just a call for you to come at this from a more headspace versus a heart space center, to look at this from a more, I hate to say cold side, but almost a more cold side. Kind of find a way to rein in the emotional glasses as you're looking at this, and try to allow the more rational brain, logical aspects of whatever you are looking at, and help that to kind of create a better balance between the emotion and the mental of the two. Seven of Wands, there's just an overall sense of holding your ground, of really finding a means of resistance. And again, it's just, whatever you're going through is heavy, obviously. I'm getting a lot of very heavy energy. And again, there seems to be a clash, a little bit of chaos that is coming forth as a result of the heart center versus the mind, the more brain aspects of, or the logistics of this. And so there's just an overall sense of perseverance that's coming through, just knowing that there's going to be a struggle, but as long as you hold your ground, have your reserves and hold your ground, through it all, you're supposed to hold to your truths. Just because you don't look at something from a perspective of heart center doesn't mean you're giving up on your personal truth, doesn't mean that you are giving way to an untruth. That's not the case. You can still come in with a logistic, rational side that has cut out the emotional response or the heart center side, because your truths are going to be true no matter what. And as long as you stick to your truths, your ethics, your moralities, the heart center is still going to play a part even in the logistics, rational side of things. So just persevere with the aspect of yourself that you know is a whole truth no matter what. We have the wheel, and the wheel's coming through that whole concept of the turning of time, the process, events unfolding, unrolling, and overall, I'm getting an overall sense that there's definitely a sense of this is not going to be a one and done quick thing. So you don't want to drown yourself too much in the emotional aspect of it to the point of draining yourself from your vitality and your vibrancy. That's why the rational aspect is coming into play. That's why you're being called to really pull in your cold, hard truths and allow that to be your guide as you go through whatever this experience is. Because if you lead and only stay in your heart center through all of this, it's going to drain you. It's going to continue to drain you, because ultimately there's a long haul kind of to this event or these events, whatever it is that you're facing. There's an element of length in time. So as a result of that, you don't want to be facing this only from a heart center aspect. You need to figure out the cold hard facts, how that weaves into your sense of emotional ethics and morality, and stick to that as you persevere so that it doesn't drain you too much of your vibrancy. And be aware of when you do feel like the overall aspect is overshadowing your vibrancy, so that you can tend to yourself, tend to your heart center, care for it, mend it, heal it accordingly, because whatever this is that you're facing, there's still a little bit of time left before you see it to its end, before you get to the other side of it. So taking care of yourself is relevant. Taking care of how to keep your life high and vibrant is relevant. That is a focus that you need to be taking. That's the heart center you need to be taking, is turning the heart center on yourself, and the external stuff, turning the rational stuff on the outside external stuff. All right, I hope this reading has provided you everything you were hoping for and more, Capricorn. I hope you find yourself able to color some more vibrancy into your life and to protect your heart accordingly. And hopefully I will see you in a future video. Until then, be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you would like something that's personal to your situation, check out the description box for links to my website and Etsy shop. Other than that, I hope you have a bright rest of the month of August, and hopefully I will see you in a future video.